word? Pineapple?
I don't do calm down words, but we might as well. I like it. What's up, y'all? Shout out to all of y'all who are waiting in the live chat. Welcome to episode 84 of Peace Talk, where we connect with really cool and spiritual people. I think it's really awesome that we're at episode 84, definitely getting close to 100 here. I have a
That's the year I was born.
No way.
Yeah, way.
1984?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. I knew there was a numerological significance too. Exactly
we aligned.
So yeah, I have a very special guest, Miss Kerri Cosmo, aka Kerri. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Feeling really good. Fantastic. Actually really driving. I'm high energy right now.
Yeah, you look super sunny and super shiny, and you always do too. I would say all your posts, you carry this radiance, but today you're just exceptionally shiny, which is awesome.
Today is, what is it? We got the galactic calendar. It's it's a red electric dragon. Wow. And I'm a red cosmic dragon. So it's kind of like a day. It's guided by life force.
That's different from astrology, right?
It's the Mayan, yeah.
Okay, so it's Mayan astrology, and they do animal systems too.
I think it all has an animal symbol in it too. But no, this is it does. They have cosmic dragon, they have electric, they have magnetics, they have the serpents, owls. Yeah, they have the spirit animals in them too. But that's the 13 moon calendar. So it's like the galactic calendar goes off the 13 moon system instead of the Gregorian, and they use the Mayan calendar as well.
Wow, that's really amazing. Shout out to Heidi, said align is my word for the day. They'll totally resonate with that. Yeah, I'm really excited to have you on. I would say ever since I met you, it was during a very magical chapter of my life, and you've been like super magical. So I'm very, very honored.
Thank you.
I connected with you during a reading, and like I had little did I know you had such great intuition. In fact,
our first reading. Yeah. I think I read for you.
You did. You totally pulled some stuff out of thin air that like I didn't tell you, and you just knew. And it was like, wow, like that's really intuitive. That's super intuitive. So,
and I had just woken up too. I was like, whoa, that's fresh. No, that's my fresh. Whoa.
That was a couple years ago. So I'm definitely excited to see how much you've evolved since then, especially with Jupiter in your sign, which should probably prove to be well deserved. I'm sure y'all have been waiting for that for a while.
Yeah, you think? I've been getting my ass kicked for, pardon my language, for a few years. I mean, I had what was it, Saturn, Pluto go over everything, because I got everything. I got all my houses on the right-hand side of the chart. And so I had everything get lit up by Pluto, by Saturn, and then, Jupiter going slowly, trickling through those houses this past like 14 years. So it was a lot for me personally, a lot of growth. I didn't actually have my spiritual conscious awakening until 2017. But like now that I was able to look back on it and do my past astrology, like, damn, like if I would have known, like what an astrologer was then, how much would that have helped my life out, for real.
That's really profound. I can only imagine how much in hindsight I think we've been so busy like evolving. It's only now we're seeing like the evidence and the results. Well, not evidence, but like we're seeing the growth and what we've been going through, if that makes sense. So definitely at least I'm just so happy for this year, because it means a lot more to me, given that Sagittarius is active proper. But for those who aren't necessarily aware, what is your sun, moon, and rising sign?
Oh, okay. So my sun sign is Sagittarius, and it's a young stallion. It's at 4 degrees. So it's wild. It's mutable fire, and it's gonna like continue. I continue to mute to different people. So I'm very butterfly. I have a lot of different circles that I like to hang out with. No one in particular. I like to explore. Freedom is like was what I'm here for. I fight for. Not really fighting, but it's what my purpose is for freedom. And so my moon is Capricorn, which it is a very full moon because it's got Jupiter and Venus in conjunction to it within 1 degree orb of each. Yeah. And then, so I'm very like stuck, had a lot of maternal stuff to work through emotionally, and all the other, Jupiter, big emotional, challenges really too, because you got to outgrow that moon. You know what I mean? You got to get past your moon, your what is that, emotional maturity. And then anyway, so my soul sign or my ascendant is Cancer.
Nice.
I'm super balanced.
So you got all the Capricorn in your 7th house.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. If anything, as a fellow Cap Moon,
Cap Moon,
definitely feeling into that Pluto and Saturn conjunction. Yeah, it's intense. It's super intense. How is
Didn't it put like a lot of like changes in the way that you reacted and how you or responded to like maturity and your inner growth? Like, didn't you get a lot of these challenges? Like, what degree is yours at?
That's actually a great question. Mine is 23 degrees, and if anything, it has really it has to examine how I respond and react and give my power away. And it's slowly been like, you don't have to respond to that. You don't have to respond to that. I already take care of that. No, don't worry. Like, and it's more so than ever deeply making me aware of psychic ability, and I guess just feeling. I think it's cool since we have ours in like the 7th and 8th, like we can apply that and feel other people and like sense stuff that is within them. So it's been really strange and weird feeling, but oddly empowering. I will say that.
Well, you can think of it as you're able to go to their core and restructure, those contracts that they've made within themselves, if it's in the 8th house, and then the 7th house, take that moon, the emotional maturity, and be able to restructure in relationships, right? With others. So that's what, like me, my moon, I draw people in. I'm more nurturing, more motherly. So people are drawn to my 7th house, my moon in my 7th house. It is a house of all relationships, not just, partnership. So people tend to see me as like Care Bear or the mother figure, So, but I just actually want to make a point on this. Today we have the sun in, it's at 24 degrees of Capricorn, give or take a little bit.
Yep.
And it's at gene key 61. So it's activating or illuminating. And this gene key that I speak of is the tool that I use. And it's like the psychoanalysis of astrology. So instead of going to the Sabian symbol or going to the gene key of the day, or not the gene key of the day, but that's what I do. But like, what was the other one? I don't know, whatever, going and checking out the meaning of the degree of the day. That's what it was. I use gene keys, and it's really in depth, using like I Ching and psychoanalysis of the human itself, the brain and the body, the auras, all of it. It's amazing. But what's activating today is gene key 61. It's the channel of contemplation, and it's the pineal gland. And in I Ching, it's known as inner truth. So that deep inner truth coming to the surface. And in its opposition, okay, because whenever one gets activated, the programming partner is activated as well. And that is gene key 62, which you fall under for your, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so it covers several degrees, the jinkies.
Yeah, yeah. Cover all six. There's 64. There's 64 gene keys, and it covers all of the zodiacs, all of them.
That's amazing.
So
Oh,
there is there's a zodiac sign and decan and everything for every degree.
I thought you were saying jinky the whole time, but you're saying gene key.
Gene key.
I was like, oh wow, this sounds like a cool new modality. So, because I remember a while ago, I think you read from a book and kind of initiated me into certain gene keys. But so I was actually in a law court. Right? I think there was significance in me being at the municipal office at the time, and like something happened where I couldn't access it, and I guess it wasn't the right time, but the it was so in depth, like the knowledge that you had. I think it was the gene keys you were reading from. But that's one thing that I definitely appreciate about you is like your knowledge is very vast. Like you come at things from you know how to apply the multifaceted layer of just one concept and like just go really deep and really in, which is super amazing. So how has this current period like helped you understand any current trends? Like have you noticed certain patterns in people you've been connecting and coming into it?
Yeah, I have. Especially, I mean, it's really amazing to look at the daily transit because that really helps with your person. I mean, when I say daily, I'm talking about like the luminaries, right? Because that really helps with what your personality is going through in order to transition more mature, right? So that's what we're doing. That's what ascension is. That's what quickening is. We're maturing into our Akashic memory, right? So that's why we get like these instantaneous downloads, but I do appreciate the acknowledgement on the vast information in such a short amount of time too. But what it's helped me realize is exactly what I just said. It's the sun and the moon that are illuminating the personality traits, right? And so, and I looked up, it actually brought me to learning more esoteric astrology, the rays of the 7 rays of consciousness, rayology. And that's really what's written. That's our rainbow bridge, is that bridge of consciousness. And everything bites back down to a frequency or a color, and relevant to your own strain of consciousness. And then you can actually see that what strain of consciousness your soul is illuminating for you to instill within yourself, as like your main color consciousness, and emanate outwardly. And you can see that in esoteric astrology based off of your specific esoteric astrology alignments and all that. But it's really like I've grown so much in these different aspects, like going back to like the Gnostic teachings, and channeling that Akashic memory in it was intimidating to have such a large amount of knowledge, within a 5 period day. It completely can throw a person off. And that I've noticed is taking place whenever, we get like the larger planets go into transit. They go into shifting. When I notice those massive downloads, not the little ones here and there, like that you can get from Mercury. Mercury's always like, that's your man for bringing in that wisdom, but it's quick though. You got to write that down, and then whereas I see whenever we get the big shift in the planets, like that brings a lot. I think I said like 5 times, but yeah.
Yeah, no. I guess having that logical, pinpointed expertise, and then just the super psychic, intuitive nature you have, it does bridge the best of both worlds. And if you don't mind me asking, what degree is your moon?
My moon is at 14 degrees.
Aha, there we go. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's a very prominent Isis degree, and it's also on my Neptune, which is awesome.
There we go.
Yeah, got some psychic connection, which
Isn't
now,
it?
yeah, it's one of my favorite aspects. But
It's so funny you mentioned that because I had my ISIS book out. And this is the card that I pulled.
oh, nice! I love that deck. It's very fierce, but also very majestic.
It's like, it's a crack. It's how much you can relate to it. Like, I don't, for me at least, I love it. Every day, like I can look at that and go, oh my God, it knows exactly what I'm going through. It's some mystical, magical way of saying it too. And I'm like, yeah, inner priestess coming out.
It's humbling too. It's like, and I think we're coming into this grander realization of these higher forces that guide our lives, which I guess is just an extension of us. But
No, it is. You're divine. I think you're absolutely right.
and that's why I 100% love the Sagittarius vibration, because repping the lower mind as a Gemini, like we focus a lot more on relevant truths and relative truths, but I feel like Sagittarius is able to see this and show the world. So what's your favorite part of being a Sagittarius representative?
Well, it's being mutable. I think, like, honestly, that's my favorite part is the, I'm sorry, is the ability to transmute, like go in there and be able to transmute both sides, understand both sides, and find that common ground between what they're saying and what they're saying, and bringing that out, you know, in a more philosophical, not saying that necessarily either one are right, maybe giving them something both to contemplate on in what they're reflecting. I like that aspect of being a Sagittarius. And just my ability to fucking change and not be like stuck on like my ego, you know what I mean? Like, hey, there's been some new information. It's pretty relevant. We're gonna shift now. That's cool, right? All right, we're good. You know?
Yeah.
Not being like some Taurus, like, that's the right information. I'm not moving.
Taurus is exactly who I had in mind too. Taurus is exactly who I was thinking about. It's like, I think they think we're fake because we can switch so easily. And it's like, it's not a bad thing. Like, you can change your mind with new information. But
think of dirt, think of clay. Be like clay. Remold, Taurus. Remold.
oh, yes. Shout out to Taurus, by the way.
Shout out to Taurus. Yes. I love the Taurus.
Oh, wow. No, I think that's my favorite part of being a Gemini, just being mutable and being able to see different sides to an issue and whatnot. I remember when we first met and kind of started connecting, one really amazing point of connection was how you very magically brought up Athena. And at that time, I had just realized I have Pallas Athena on my sun, and how like that helps. She's a goddess of wisdom and strategy, and how it kind of helps connect me right to her. And I feel like that simultaneous realization really stuck with me, because it helped me see you as definitely an extension of her, and even greater than that. But you
said that day too. You're like, you created her. You're old.
Yeah, because when you told me that, like what I was going through during the period, it was just like, there's no way it's just like you pulling the ISIS cards. Like, there's no way she's talking about her now and of all times. And it's like, Athena, did you send her? Like, what's going on? Who sent you? It was
We're sending you blessings of love, a goddess love. Like, you're gonna activate him. You're gonna get it right. You're gonna give him a vision to look forward to. And lo and behold, you were in the hallway taking pictures with that Latina girl. Like, come on.
Which actually, if I remember correctly, you did mention that too. One thing that has stuck with me, two things have stuck with me. One was that you said, my firstborn child will be a son. And the second thing you said was that the second thing, and I fully believe it too. Like I have no reason to doubt this. The second thing you said is I would be with this Latina lady who's more like from the islands. And I mean, I had my eye on a Sagittarius at that time, and Jupiter's there, so we'll see. I don't know. We'll definitely see. But yeah, what really stuck with me was how you mentioned it was a part of a collective, like a group, like the 88, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, could you mention?
Dude, that was Goddess Athena's hidden 88. Like they had 88 men that protected. It was like the Grail. God, that was so long ago.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
coming up again. That's so crazy. Oh my God. All right. I love you.
I love you too. For real. I feel like there was a reason that the information kind of came and left. Now coming.
Yes.
So that's
Dude, that was all about like the rising of the crystals from the inner earth and like how we all sat around, and it was like the 88 Templars kind of mentality.
yeah, it was very regal and regimented. And
Yeah.
the vibe I got was, oh my gosh, Athena wants me to fight her war. So I don't know if I'm ready for all that, but you know, now I am more than ever. Like I'm totally down.
You
But
are though.
yeah, no, it's
The inner earth, so that came up like my Neptune just got whammied. When we had that full moon at 0 degrees of Capricorn,
yeah.
that was my Neptune.
Oh, wow. Okay,
I know. Oh, but ooh, wow.
Yes, yes.
So, but like it was like that, but it was like, damn, what? No way. Hold up. I don't know if I can believe that. That's what it felt like. And it was all about the flat earth came back.
Oh.
I went into that Gnostic teaching. Sophia came up, the Gaia Sophia, earth energy. She comes to me like often. I'm very elementally in tune, you know this. And so all that Gnostic teaching came up, and then the flat earth came up with this being a plane of existence, and just all kind of ishness came up into my bubble, and I'm like, what is going on? So how I look at that is no one perspective is incorrect, right? It's all just about elevating a consciousness, right, into what we're creating. And then 3 was that I got a spiritual ego death.
Oh,
because
no.
When you're so like one-sided, you know, like this is my story, which is great to own your beliefs, your morals, your values, all that. But when you're like pitchfork in the ground, my only way, it's like, whoa, Gina, back it up a little bit, you know. So you're you know, I'm getting another. That's how I feel. Like I got a spiritual ego death.
Yeah, I feel like that's happening now that the Pluto is coming closer to my moon. In fact, considering that yours is 14, Saturn is 1 degree away from there. So I'm sure.
My moon is at 15. I'm sorry. My moon's at 15. My Venus is at 14.
Oh, yeah, they're next to each other, Moon, Venus. Oh, and then Jupiter is on the other side of that, which is amazing. So, I mean, that's still Mercury's on there now. That's still pretty relevant. No wonder.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Shout out to someone who said if y'all watch Dolo, I definitely am planning to get the Pilot Man back on another part really soon. But yeah, until then, you know, I've experienced this Pluto and Saturn energy as a looming darkness, like a looming increasing of gravity that I'm ready to surrender to, but also stand up to. And it's kind of like a coming of age for me. But this also has me very obsessed, I guess because of my 8th, but super obsessed with superpowers and supernatural ability, not as an ideal, but as something that I sense is happening and I'm obsessed with perceiving it right. And I think it's dope that we share the same moon but opposite suns. Um, Interestingly enough, this one Latina lady that I felt might be who you're talking about is also a Sag with a Cat moon. But
Really?
yeah, she's either a double Sag or a Sag with a Cat moon. But I don't really know her personally like that, so I just an idea for now. But yeah, I'm really excited. I really feel like Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, especially Moon, like we're really about to fully break through, right? And that will make sense for why we're coming into this knowledge the way we are. But very, very, very grateful regardless. And it's great to know that you had that full moon aspect on your Neptune. Whereas right now, as we speak, Saturn is dead conjunct my Neptune, ironically. So I see that as a manifestation of my intuition in tangible ways. We'll see what that happens. Shout out to Heather in the building with her Cat Moon as well. And yeah, other than that, you know,
I also had Jupiter. That Jupiter return was on my sun, my solar return. So Jupiter's happiest day of the year was on my birthday.
Wait, I'm kind of confused though, because don't you have Jupiter in Capricorn?
I do. It wasn't my Jupiter return. I was saying like when Jupiter came home to Sagittarius, anyway, my birthday. It was wait, oh, that's what it was. It's the Sun and Jupiter conjunct. That's what it was.
That's
and
beautiful.
It was on my sun, my birthday.
What?
Yeah. So happiness all year long. I get to share that light with everybody. I carry it in my energy.
I mean, you've always been vibrant, but you just have an exceptional shine and golden quality to you, even more so now. So that makes so much more sense. Like, wow,
I'm so shiny.
And then your progressed sun is already in Capricorn by now, so that's also. Oh God, yeah.
Well, it's because I've been getting that whole like you gotta get up and work. I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm more like I'm chill. Like I want to be the sexiest bitch on the beach taking pictures and make money off of Instagram. You know what I mean? I'm like,
the social life. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, I want to be an influencer and say peace.
That might be the Aquarius transit. I want to take a leaf off of VC says. She says Gem and Sag is the best combo ever to watch. I agree. I think it's I have fun.
Sending you love.
Yay. Yes. I mean, thank you for sharing all these vibes. I think we need it more than we know. And that leads me to my next question. Like, what's great advice you have when it comes to, because see, I feel like for Pisces and Sagittarius, y'all live this life. Like it's easy for you to accept and believe in higher vibrations. But what is great advice for people who are just starting to trust more? For example, they say that 44 is a intuitive sign of angels, right? And as I see 3:44 p.m., the up next video is Angela Rye. And I see the word angel. So that lets me know the angels are in a building. But
they are. Actually, the Isis card that I pulled is about legitimately, it's called the Wings of Isis. And I had never pulled this card until I just got this deck for Christmas. But this one says that you have a special spiritual relationship with the angelic world. Part of your soul purpose is to birth angelic consciousness and values such as fearlessness, compassion, and service into the human culture.
Beautiful. And just that's just so beautiful. And just to kind of like show and prove, like as you could see, here's the angel that I saw, and it was 3:44 when I saw that. So I thought
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that though, what's a great way to embrace this emergence? I feel like what's awakening in people is their third eye, where some third eyes like yourself has probably always been open, but like the higher mind, like a higher faculty. So what's a way to not get caught up in trying to prove spirit and to just embrace it more so.
Perfect. It's right there. Right there. And if everybody can just remember that the moment you feel that you need to prove anything, that's ego.
True.
That's program. Prove is program.
Nice.
It's like taking a test. Assimilate it with taking a test at school. Right?
Yeah.
If it was natural, you wouldn't have to program it. So proof is programming.
Okay.
But I mean, that's a simplistic view of it. I would say, you know, not to.
So profound though.
Right?
Yeah.
That's saggy. You know, but it's not to beat yourself up about what it is that's coming into your consciousness, your awareness, your imagination, whether it be something lovely, beautiful, kind, angelic, or whether it be something sensual, sexual, and, you know, or not so pleasant, you know, just accept everything that comes through, and then understand that everything that comes up, every judgment, every person, every thought, every emotion is coming up for you to acknowledge and to love.
Oh, that's deep. That helps me personally, because like given Pluto, let's say, that's been close to my moon and all that, I've been very reactive, and I can apply that. It's like, it really is all ego. It's like the need to say, oh, I don't need to take this or whatever, when I really could just respond with love, which is a lot easier said than done. I'll say that, but definitely effective. Definitely effective. That's
well, if you're, you know, like I think an easier way to help imply all this in your life, in your walking meditation, is to make songs out of it, like, or, you know, something that will help you remember, like a kid's like nursery rhyme, like that kind of a jingle to it, you know what I'm saying? Like a real chill undertone, or rap it out, you know, but constantly create that dialogue with yourself. And who gives a shit if anybody else is looking? It doesn't matter. Everybody is a figment of your imagination anyways. You have created that person, that place, and that experience, like legitimately. The astrology, all of this, every planet is within us. Every planet. And every asteroid is within us, every galaxy is within us, and it's all about talking to those aspects within the self. That's why when you look at your astrology report, and how I look at it with what I do with my clients, and he's like looking at the time, like, what's up? But what I do with my clients is I look at where these starseed alignments, which are templates. We have specific templates, which are psychological patternings that are in our DNA. And so I look at these starseed locations and look for specific patterning that they're experiencing based off the planetary alignments, right? And so that plays out within your body, as every planet is within the body. That's what the esoteric astrology teaches anyways. That's the old Gnostic teachings. So it's kind of like just really paying attention to where you're pulling from within your body to project outwardly into your reality, and then who is showing up. You know, if you get a vibe that it's some Zeta Reticuli in your reality, then you can look back at your placements and where Zeta Reticuli is at, and what, you know, asteroid or planet is going over that, and then you can see why you're projecting that into your reality.
And that's amazing too, because when it gets to these starseed systems, I start to get lost, which is ironic because it's my destiny to really learn all that and to apply it. And I just kind of got through feeling it was not pseudoscientific, but just like not real, because I would see people who would just like, oh, I'm Arcturian, or oh, I'm Palladian, I guess, just to come into some identity. But then meeting authentic readers like you who actually know their stuff, like it brings a whole new wonder to this world, and knowing that people are from other star systems or gain energy from them, which is amazing.
Well, I have a perspective on that, and I don't believe that the galaxies are outside of us. I believe that they're all within us. I
And
believe that it's all a reflection, as above, so below, not
wow,
as below, so above. So, and in understanding is like, you can look at the Lion King. So much truth in a lot of movies. I know, right? Who's going to quote the Lion King? But I am. So when, Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba are all laying down and they're looking at the stars and talk about that he's, goes and states that this is his ancestors above. They are. That's why, I mean, the stars are your ancestors, but it's within you that you're projecting them out to this atmosphere, because in this plane of existence, we have to see it to believe it.
uh-huh.
So in order to believe that we are connected, we have to see the stars shining. It's a projection. And anyways, I have a lot of my own perspectives, but how I use the star systems isn't like starseed and, everybody's Pleiadian. I think of it more as a program that's running subconsciously with keywords, and those are their keywords to awaken with. Those are the key memories, and each one of the major locations actually reflects the 7 foundational psychoanalogy memory that the human holds.
That's real.
I know it's like deeper stuff.
No, it's definitely more a realistic way to sense it too. I can resonate a lot more with that. So it doesn't limit you too. It definitely opens up how much more you can connect with. But nice astrocoding. Outside of that, I'm gonna go a little bit off topic here.
Okay.
Do you still sense the same thing in concerning love? Actually, before you even mention that, I want to confirm that what you said about power and love emerging and having to let me backtrack. You said something very profound in how, spirit likes to keep us in our inner child to access magic. So it's like you have to go back to what makes us feel fun and creative, and like in order for you to harness your power, you want to kind of take that approach. Could you touch on that once again?
Yeah. I mean, the whole essence of being here on this planet is the rediscovery. We're really the Benjamin Button, right? We're all going backwards.
Yeah.
And so in order to find that inner child, you are going through all these experiences that you've played out as an adult. And the inner child, in essence, whenever you can start looking at the stars as a storyline, and you can start looking at your life as how you lived out these storylines, you can start intertwining and seeing how you really created your own reality based off of your fantasies and your desires. Like, I was a girl of the 80s and early 90s, so I grew up playing with Barbie dolls, and so I really played out in my reality, Barbie. So whenever I grew up, I really played out Barbie, like Desperate Housewives. But I played the housewife, the mom, the minivan, or not, I didn't have a minivan, but the crossover. And, I played all of that out. So my inner child really relived all the Barbie, right? So as an adult moving through, now you're going to be playing out your child playing the Barbies, right? So you're playing your child play Barbie. So you are the Barbie in essence again, but you're tapping more into the imagination, but having the ability to actually create,
based off of the templates you created as a child.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
No, that's very profound. And I see it more practically applicable now that this is starting to kind of emerge and manifest. The question I was leading up to though was, so do you still see the same thing happening? Like, has things changed? Do you still see me with this hot Latina woman?
I think it was a timeline. I think it was a timeline that you could have lined up with at one point in reality. I can tune into it. Let me see where
Yes,
it's projected
please.
right now.
I
You
would.
do have you have some you do have blocking in your you don't mind me processing this for you real quick?
Yeah, I'm totally
Okay.
open.
Okay, so go ahead and take a deep breath, and I need you to go like this with your chest.
All right.
Yeah, pump it real good. Dun 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 dun. All right.
All right.
You have a like a not it's like a ring, the black ring around your heart. So it's in coming through. It's in receiving. So we have worth. We have worth. And so therefore there's like an abandonment, but a worth that we're going to work through. So take a deep breath. Arnate se uas ukwane larnakaya sukusuane yastar nakewana ne se siwasaka rukuane siarumua kukuane he. So it is. Just allow that to permeate and open.
Ooh.
All right. Fix you up a little bit. Get that ready to receive that love. You had like I just see like a swirling, like it's just like a black ribbon to me, and that's what I see. But it's more like a cloud of ribbon running around through it, and it's just all it was like a worth and an abandonment, and it was just for you to accept. But I can pull it off. It's easy just to pull it off. Then should have felt that like coming through your chest and out your shoulders. I had it pull out through your shoulders.
Nice. It might have felt it faintly. I know the whole theme of blocking it is very true, though. So you definitely what you're picking up on is very accurate. I think I deliberately used it to block it too, and just stay defensive. But that's very much so egoic now that I see. But yeah.
Well, it's your main way of communication is through your heart, and even in the essence of putting up any kind of block to even keep, if you're going to keep something away from you, it's obviously not going to allow something to come into you.
Mm-hmm.
So with your gift and specifically what you're walking into, right, in your gifts and what you're going to be establishing this year alone, having that open to receive and not having any limits and boundaries, because now you know how to say no. So you don't need to have that manifestation of, having your heart unlock, because it's no longer necessary because you know when to guard it.
No,
so I just simply took that off.
Today I literally said it feels so good to say no. So I think it's amazing you just said that right. It was like a sigh of relief, like, yes, I finally know how to like say this, and it just feels so good to like tell people.
So then the universe used me for confirmation that you are receiving. You do know how to say no. You have set that into your programming. You've rebuilt your programming. Woo-hoo!
And not feel bad. Yeah, no, I was just interested perhaps in so it's better to see her as more like a timeline potentiality.
Right, and it was, and you took photos with with a Latina, and that could have been just as very well the vision that I saw.
Was it the photo where she was in my arms?
Yeah,
that was actually.
You'd be like crouched over into her, like talking to her like you were in high school in the locker room. Remember? And I was like, you'd be leaning into her. I mean,
Wait,
it was really vivid. It was really vivid.
which photo is this?
I don't think that you had a photo with her like that, but I mean, it was the image that I got. It
Oh,
was
the
like
image
you
we
were
saw.
pressed into the wall talking to her, like,
Oh.
what's up? What you doing? Like that. What I'm getting now, it's not about that. Yeah, I have more. And honestly, I just saw like a white girl. Like she's got freckly white legs, like a really white girl. Like not just like a cream girl, but like a white girl.
Like white?
White girl. Anyways, but I see like a lot of like freckles on her legs.
Word. Okay. Okay.
I don't know why I saw that, but all I'm seeing is like an ankle. So
Oh wow.
I think your soul is fucking with me.
I think so too. That's so
Oh shit. Get damn it, knock it off. All right. You loosen up, Mike.
Oh yeah, true. I don't realize I stiffen up automatically. Um, Even when I think I'm not being stiff, I'm stiff. It's something I want to work on.
You and your Capricorn moon.
Taurus.
Making it up the hill. Moon. All right. So, dude, what happened? Okay, so as far as like what gifts we're gonna be getting, honestly, anything that would build your psychic consciousness, your intuition, your mental control is like, well, that is what is ultimately being reestablished right now. Is how I look at that. I mean, you got with Saturn going home, Jupiter home, everything basically in its exalted house. Like the way that things are lined up, it's all for pure consciousness. And it in order to stay in that heightened sense of awareness, like it's really not about who or how, it's about getting down to the fundamentals of you and now, and like the ability to sustain it out of the fucking drama. Like that is legit. Don't fall into your drama. And you know that whole saying, like, oh, the drama, like, oh, your mama, like that for me rhymes with, like, it so assimilates with the moon because of what you're, that old way of emotional, because it's been trained, your moon has been trained from your mother and from your emotional, like, in esoteric astrology to become your ascendant, which is your soul's essence. What the fuck? Come on now. I'm live. Like it is that soul essence. So that's what your soul would embody. Like me, it's Cancer, it's the waters, right? It's the primordial waters, which is a replica of the Gaia, Sophia's emotions, right? Which is the moon. So in order to become my soul, which is, you know, Sophia's wisdom, you know, emotional wisdom, is to recoup from my emotional programming from my mother and my emotional reactions from all that programming as a child, which is the moon, which is Cancer. I mean, not Cancer, Capricorn for me. Anyways, it's Capricorn for me.
Uh-huh.
So,
wow. No, I was gonna ask, does Jupiter and Venus next to it make your relationship with her more positive?
it has given me, I don't look at Jupiter like, well, I have my own perspective of looking at Jupiter. It is a benevolent, it is a giver, it is a giver. It is a giver. Now, you could either have a perspective of it's given me a lot of challenges or it's given me a lot of growth. I mean, growth is challenge, but that's what it's giving. Jupiter, it like comes through like, it's Zeus, right? It's Zeus in Greek mythology. Who did all the fuckery? Zeus.
Zeus. Yep.
With everybody, Zeus.
Mr. Infidelity.
Mr. Infidelity. He was fucking around. What did he like? Oh look, I always think when I think of Zeus, or I think of Jupiter, I can think of Adam Sandler and fucking Big Daddy, where he throws a stick down and he's like sitting there with his son. He's like, watch him fall. Throws a stick down, and then the skater just like tumbles and shit. Right? That's Jupiter. That's Jupiter. It's like, watch what I can do. Watch what I can do. I'm gonna fuck with him.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's true.
and then I got Venus right there, and she's like, hey, I'm going to distract you while he's throwing a log under the road.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you got all this relationship distraction plus all these major challenges. So it's like I'm playing a lot of, I ended up playing out a lot of relationship
Archetypes?
patterning, and
Oh,
noticing how and who I would gather into my film or my movie, and what trait I was trying to clear out, because I clear more collectively, and because of it being there on my moon, my emotional states reflect the entirety of the collective consciousness. I'm a super empath on steroids. Okay.
I feel that. I feel that.
And so, like, when I clear something out in my reality, once we all clear something out in our reality, it clears it out for the collective. But I really would feel what the collective was going through. So I feel like my life really reflected a conscious collective of energy that was partaking in a wide scale, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what else I was going with that. I'm kind of lost my train of thought.
Well,
Woo!
you were talking about how the moon you have to clear in order to come into your rising sign, and since
All
rising is
right.
Cancer.
So leaving way, I'm like, where did I come up? So leaving way from your pattern moon and coming into your ascendant is essentially what you're here to do, and through your astrology, that's whenever you can see all these. Are you like shaking?
No, no, yeah, yes and no. Yeah, I was picking up my cup.
When you're your soul essence, whenever you get that soul essence, is when you break into all of these higher states of consciousness.
Yeah,
So
I'm glad you said that, because what I've been obsessed with is reaching this cerebral apex and state, and then sustaining it. And I feel like I'm finally at the place where I can reach that state, and that's why I love like Aquarius and Sagittarius, because like I feel like you're already at that state and you were born there versus having to come from the lower mind to the higher mind. So it's much appreciation. I'm just learning not to get in my own way through the process, and
right.
I guess enjoy it more. I should really focus on enjoying the process, because the way I am with my Mars and Aries, it's like I want it now. Where is it? What's up?
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
Open the circle. But
For,
that's like the opposite of what I've got going on because of the Sagittarius, right? And Pisces has it, Aquarius has it as well, but it is like it's harder to ground. So like we very much relate to air signs, because it's like we're up here.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, I can see that, but not everybody gets it. Like whenever I had and I contacted you, you know what I mean? Like you were like, damn, blown away. And I had literally maybe 3 months, not even 3 months awakened. I got my astrology report done by you. So, and it was, I came in with like a 12D consciousness, but how do you ground that shit? You know what I mean? Like, how do you find your center and your, you know what I mean? Like your ability to be authentic, because a lot of people they don't understand where you're coming from. So
Yeah.
it is hard to ground something that a lot of people don't comprehend.
And I'm glad you said that now, because that makes sense of the oppositions, because I didn't realize how it is easy for me to ground it, because I guess I'm on the ground base. So that makes more important these opposition partnerships, because it just adds so much, the best of both worlds, and it now puts greater context. So yeah, definitely glad to speak on that. But the next question I want to ask is, of course, and I usually ask this in the beginning, but we just had such a fun conversation. But how did you get started on your spiritual journey? And what inspired you to create the Kerri Cosmo channel and to share your gifts? And how was your awakening process like? Because you definitely did come in with the 12D consciousness, which was very profound to experience. And it was too much for me to take in at the moment too. Like, oh my gosh, you exist. Wow. It felt like I was looking at a real goddess, and like, oh my gosh, like this is like Superwoman right here. So that was really awesome. How
Aw,
did
you're super sweet. Aw.
thanks. It always sounds like a compliment, but I'm really all like nerdy with it, like, wow, this is real. But yeah.
Well, and then I learned this through astrology, and but yeah, my mom actually, when Pluto passed over my moon, my mom actually died.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's like death and transformation, moon, mother. Like I was,
Like the
after I just
exact
found this
degree?
out like maybe a few months ago. So I was like,
Like,
oh my God. Cause I didn't never think to look. And I was like, one day I was actually talking to Philip Daniel Miles, right? And that's
oh,
whenever I was like, oh yeah, I should look at that.
he's in the chat, by the way. I saw
What's
him.
up?
Yeah. When it went through the exact degree of your moon?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That was a lot of process because, like, fuck. My mom would always say, like, I'll die for you. And then it's like, she does. And then that totally, like, brings me into my, like, complete, utter meltdown of
Yeah.
life. I went from having the largest day spa in Southern California, being a hairstylist for 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
to losing my mother, losing my mind. What it felt like, I had a tower moment to the extreme, and I got a freaking random phone call from a medium, a couple, I was, I think, the 27th or something in January of 2017, and she was like, tell me about how my mom was trying to get a hold of me on the other side. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I'd only ever heard of psychics.com. Like, I wasn't into, I'd never even been to, I didn't know what tarot was, nothing. I was naive.
And you call mediums, they don't call you. That's crazy. Tradition.
Right. And everything she said about my mother, and you actually can talk to her about this. Her name's Ashley Pfeffer. She's a Gene Key. She's actually a good friend of mine now, but she's a Gene Key specialist. I don't know what are they called. I don't know. She works with Gene Keys. She teaches it. And everything she'd said about my everything panned out to be 100% legit, on point. And so I started watching some tarot readings. And who was it? I can't remember her name at the moment. It'll come to me. Natalie. Oh man. Oh well. And then I started watching you, and that's where I started getting my astrology. Yeah,
Nice.
you
That's
were
just,
the first astrologer, because I saw you on Astrolata, and I
oh,
was like, I like this dude, and
nice.
I can understand his English.
Yes. I feel you. Nice.
And like, I'm like, he's funny. I like him. And I would sit in my garage and I would just laugh my ass off. And everything that I was going through, it was exactly what I needed. So between you and my tarot girl, I just went to this local store, Lady of the Lake, and I picked up a deck of tarot. Like, I'm not tarot. Well, I did. I actually picked up tarot cards, and they were the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. And I unwrapped it, and like, I got overwhelmed with energy, and I literally took them back to the store. So I can't handle these; they're too strong for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I picked up Magical Mermaids at that point. I got an Oracle deck. I got into the energy and crystals, and I mean, I didn't even realize how innate it was. Like, I look at it now, or then I took it for granted how innate it was for me to set up, like I had the star going. I mean, I created like a women's group in my town within like 2 weeks, and I'm talking about awakening like it's everybody should know it. Like,
Wow.
it just comes in like that, and I would sit there and I'd write for hours, like just information that was channeling in through me, through my higher self.
Mhm.
And then I moved across country, and it was time to heal.
I
And I
remember
started
when we
that.
spoke. Sorry to interrupt. I remember when we spoke, you were at your salon too. You had shown
Yeah,
me. It was really big. It was huge. It was awesome.
yeah, it was. It was. I loved it. It was a great concept, but it was definitely not in the direction that I was supposed to be working in. I
Mhm.
know, I had like Indians. I created, because I created, it was a shell. So I had like in there, I built the entire thing up, and I had created a 20-foot wall, but it was circular, and that was where the childcare was at. It's 1,100 square feet for childcare, right? And then
Wow.
in between there, I had two pillars that were 5-sided each, and they were on opposite sides of each other. So I created like this portal, and where I lived in Temecula, the Indian energies out there was the Temescal Valley, and there was 100 Indian massacre right where we lived. I mean, not where we lived, right where our salon building was at, and there was Indian bones under the building, and like they would talk to me, and it freaked me out. I didn't know how to handle it.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
real. That's
So
deep.
when we were talking, I was like outside. I'd always sit outside of the building underneath the oak trees because it would ground my energy. If I went in there, I would be like because of the pillars,
Yeah.
because they were able. I didn't know energy then.
I think this is significant, but I started to feel my heart kind of break, not break, but like feel like piercing in my heart or something kind of come through when you were saying that. It's very faint. Now it's kind of like, now that I guess I brought attention to it, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um, Other than that, that's very profound. So, and where did you move across state to?
Oh man, so I lost my life. I let go. And I let God, and I ended up in Sarasota, Florida, cross
Oh,
country,
okay.
completely.
East Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I love it out here, and I live on an island that's all Indian. So now I'm like really good with the energy, which is really strong.
Nice.
Um, the Indians that were here were found from their 300 BC is what
Mhm.
they're dated back to.
Wow.
So really ancient. And the sand out here is 99.9% quartz crystal, so it's very healing. And I do a lot of sacred healings out here in person on the beach. Like today, I did my soul vibes on the beach, so I was really excited about that. That's actually what I'm working into now, is integrating all of everything that I've learned, so my cosmic consciousness, into a rhythm, because we're in the fourth kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Earth is the fourth kingdom. It's also in the fourth arm of the galaxy, representation of the fourth arm of the Milky Way. And so we're the fourth kingdom. We're the fourth ray, which is, it's harmony through disruption. I think is what it is.
Interesting.
Harmony through
Yes?
action, or harmony through action, or something like that.
Okay.
And don't quote me on it. And anyways, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, fourth ray. So it's about rhythm. It's also the fourth hermetic is rhythm, the law of rhythm, right?
Yeah.
So that's where soul vibes is coming in. It's taking consciousness in rhythm
Okay.
and putting it into the earth. So soul is SOL, it's out in sun. You're putting your feet into the earth, so you're grounding and you're releasing whatever psychological pattern is going through, but
Mhm.
through dance, and it varies of different beats.
Okay. Nice.
It's sacred dance. It's what I've been channeling in. It's per why I had all these like crazy epiphanies. Oh my God, like December and January have just been, you're learning, you're learning. Sit back and relax.
Yeah. No, definitely. And so, and you, when did you officially start your YouTube channel?
Oh, I started it in 2018. January of 2018 is when I started it.
So it's a year old now.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Awesome. And what kind of services do you provide for people?
So I do the cosmic blueprints, which is where I take your holographic gene key profile, and
Mhm.
then I go through an analysis process with that, and I activate your activation sequence with my light language, and then you can do follow-ups, and we go through the Venus sequence and your Pearl sequence, which is your Venus is your heart, so opening up your heart. Okay, and then I also have the Pearl sequence, which is going into your vocation and your job and living in your highest frequency.
Nice.
So I have these, and then I also offer, intuitive readings, card readings, really just channel light language healings. I have the ability to perform miraculous healings on some people, depending on their frequency and where their soul is willing to release.
Okay. That's
So
beautiful.
I've been doing that, and then I also have like the sacred ceremonies that people can book as well.
Nice. And I have the link to your channel in the description box below. So make
Awesome.
y'all subscribe to her and contact her for a reading. When I got my G activation, it came at a very relevant time, and I can see why it happened the way it happened. I probably might not have been ready for it as I thought I was, but it was still very accurate. And maybe that's my ego getting in the way. I think it worked the way it was meant to work, but definitely looking forward to coming into that much deeper. Shout out to Chad Taylor at New Age Jaw who have joined the fam right now. Let's
just go back to that. Remember, it's like if you got to prove it, it's a program, so it's ego.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if it's to oneself. So very, very true. I would like to play a game. We usually do the 3 questions game, and we'll take turns asking each other 3 questions. And you can start. You can ask me a question, I'll answer, and then I'll ask you a question, and then you can ask me one for 3 rounds. But before we do that, let's channel some insight. Let's take turns, just 1 round, kind of channeling whatever information you come into. I think you already did too, but I loved you. The speaking of light codes you did, I feel like that blessed all of us who heard that. So thank you.
If you'd like, I would love to do a light language activation for everybody that's on the channel. I did already set the intentions for this, so if you would like,
let's do it. Let's do it. When you were saying activation, I'm like, oh, I definitely want an activation. So I'm glad you just.
This will get everybody's inner. It's 7:22, so right on, right?
Yeah, really.
22. All right, so I've already set the intention for a miraculous healing activation to align within each and all souls that have witnessed to this video at any time, space, dimension, reality, and that is so. Pure source energy light flowing through. I bless this. I honor this. I bring presence to this moment. As a divine sovereign being, it is my will to align and activate, to release, transmute, transcend all lower vibrational frequencies back to the source for love, for your love. It is all love. And so it is. Shaknue atawane he sate kwahane la krukuane yukukua sata rakne yane hu kuasa sikia noane arnahe akwatase tukuana hikiane wuku
Wow.
Harnane asetisa ukuane han ukuan ne dakasa tuasa yenihar nuan good ai anesate anu nuana me anasati asput uruk nuan ya nak nasatea luhuanea Sikia satish nu nuane lar nakana. Arnahya sete kuan mashnewa arnahne wash. So it is.
That was amazing. I and as I was feeling that, Chad was saying that he felt it too, and I'm sure everyone else did. What I saw was almost symbolically like you were directing the energy coming from your heart with your hands, and when you actually made that sound, like I could feel the waves, which I don't consider myself that sensitive to feeling. So I feel like if I can feel it, then it's really powerful. So thank you. I had to ground myself real quick.
Getting blown away. It's like being by a speaker, huh?
Oh, yes. And the card I pulled for it was the Lovers, if that has any significance.
It is because it's bringing together that masculine and feminine energy within. It's aligning to activate.
My heart feels happy. Thank you. It feels like thank you,
Happy.
yeah, that's what's up. Thank you so much for sharing your light because it's so much needed. See the work Jupiter is doing in Sag, guys. It's Big Daddy. All right.
Next time you look at Jupiter, you're gonna look at that different.
Yeah.
Like benefic fucker. What are you giving me?
I'm gonna see Adam Sandler's face and just like, ha. It's hilarious.
And Venus, I always look at her like, what? You think you got something? No. Next.
Yep.
Okay. I'm really connected to you. So let's do this. Like, what do you got? What you want? What you want? What you want?
What you really, really want?
I got your inner child coming out.
Yes.
I don't even have music on. It's just like in my head. I swear to God.
We can play the questions game now, and you can ask any question. Any question. Shout out to Andy Girl. Her body was literally vibrating. I feel you on that.
What up? That's awesome. Get it. Get it. Get into that. Own that. Be like, oh, I was vibrating. And then take that all the way down. Ooh, that's one good thing. I will say, learn to own your sacral vibration.
Ooh.
Learn to own that.
Yeah.
Learn to stimulate that within and hold that with everything that you do.
Oh.
It's like for a woman doing a Kegel, but for a man, trying to pump some blood down there, hold that energy, that same energy whenever you're putting your intent into something, and that's putting focus into your creative chakra.
Nice. Oh, okay. I think I usually suppress that when it comes up, and I'm like, push it back to the root, but don't judge and don't prove. That's all ego. That's one thing I'm definitely going to take. That's amazing. So yeah, you could start the game off. You can ask any question, and then I'll answer it, and then I'll ask you, and then we can go 2 more rounds.
All right. So I did see. I already asked you your deck of cards. What spread would you be? Which I liked your spread, by the way.
Thank you.
It was very royal.
Very.
If you could answer one question for your ego, which is right or wrong, programming, what question would it be?
I don't have.
What's that one, is it real or isn't real, or what one question would really fill your ego in a sense that would let you let it go?
Yeah, no, that's a very amazing question. I really am interested in how to fully harness my power, which seems abstract, but like, how do I break through and transform into that state of consciousness? And I guess it's a way of me asking, like, what does it look like? Like, what is my super self? Because if I was able to experience it, then it's like, okay, this isn't just some concept. Like, I already know now that I can get there, but it's still like, what is it? So
what to you represents a pseudo state of consciousness? What is this exhilarated state of consciousness that you perceive?
No, great question. It's like in the movie Limitless or Lucy, where they're able to access the max or more of their brain capacity. So to me it would be, and that to me is still a base level to reach into infinity, but to me would be like the whole world is more vibrant, and it's like, oh, I suddenly know a lot more of how to do what I can already do. I'm accessing subconscious memories without having to take NZT, and it's like I'm accessing more of my brain than I usually do. I'm breaking through my mental blocks, and I can do 6 hours worth of work in like 30 minutes and just like really push forward in that sense.
Okay, so breaking that time space continuum.
Yeah,
So
into the fit.
when you visualize what the movies that you just projected, you can also visualize Bruce Almighty. And
Yes.
when God
Yes.
opens up the filing cabinet, right?
Yes.
So that's a manifestation of the Akashic.
Uh-huh. It's funny that you mentioned that movie because Spirit gave that movie to me as like my archetype to like conceptualize all this as. So
it really fits in with real life and humor and how to imagine. So people have fantasized ideas they have because of movies, but in essence, it's not wrong. It's correct because it's a manifestation of somebody's collected imagination.
yeah.
So whenever you're trying to think of these higher states of consciousness, literally all you're doing is you're running a picture through your head and you're pulling out that file.
Yep.
That is literally pulling into it. Now, whenever you're pulling into somebody else's Akash, it's asking permissions first.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to go into somewhere without having a door. So you need to create a door.
Okay.
Usually you have a door that gets, and I mean like in your mind or in your consciousness. You following me, Mike?
Yeah.
So we're going to create a door, and we create a door by asking who, how, when, and where, right?
Yeah.
Who, how, when, and where. Who am I accessing? How will it best serve me and the purpose of humanity? How, and you'll get an image of how you're going to do it, or an inspired action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then where is like you can look at it like, where are you going to take this effect in your reality? How is it going to play out within you, right? Is it going to be through your imagination? Is it going to be through your mouth? Is it going to be through your hands? Is it going to be through a movement? That's the where. Like, where at in the body am I projecting this outwardly? And that's whenever you'll see like how I was a confirmation for you right earlier today.
Yeah.
How I played the where. Where the confirmation came in.
Okay.
See, the Akashic is constantly walking in front of you. It's constantly projected around you. What file are you going to pull out? You got to ask who.
Who? Okay. And the who would be, I guess, my higher self.
Yes.
Okay. And the how would be like, how would pulling the file of my higher self will now allow me to be my best self towards everyone. So how would be like through all elements of myself, as far as where, taking it all over the world and just being at the right place at the right time and just fully not blocking myself and just
right. And if you were, who would you project yourself to be? And that's whenever you can really start directing your focus. Like when you ask a question and you're intuitively pulled to look to the left, and I was on the phone. Example, I was on the phone with my friend, and she was tripping about like how she was going to save all of her YouTube videos. I was like, you need to get a cloud. And I looked over to my left, and there was a white pickup truck that had a cloud. It said legitimately a blue cloud. It said cloud.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm projecting is the Akashic knowledge, knowing in my constant reality. It's just knowing who, how, when, and where. Yeah.
So it's nothing that has to be waited for. You just have to focus.
Right. You have to focus in on it. And listen. It's constantly a file that you're creating at any given time, because everything that's in you, all knowledge, is projected externally. What you're trying to rewrite is your subconscious patterns of your mood and your personality. Yeah. And then that gives you your soul's essence, right? But as you come into this awareness and you wanting to have access to your Akashic, it's always realizing that every answer that you ever need is all around you at any given time. You just have to ask who and look around and who is projecting in that answer.
And to add on that, that fully explains how like I get that makes so much sense. Like once I start to stimulate it, then synchronicities like that start to occur, and I think I just stop focusing, and it's like I don't know what to do next, but I just need to like make it more of a process, right? And
Right.
that's amazing.
You can see the subconscious playing out, because like when you start getting the synchronicities, it's honestly like a store light flickering on and on and on and on, like look over here, look over here, look over here, and then the more that you worry, it puts like a blocker over this light, so you can't see what's trying to get highlighted. You can't see the synchronicities.
Yeah.
And that is the Akash. I mean, you can also, there's dipping into the Akashic, somebody's emotional realms as well. And that takes a different sense. You gotta feel into that, or you gotta use a different clair. But in the claircognizance, or the knowledge that's you're wanting to tap into, like you were saying,
yeah,
it's always around you.
It's always okay. And as far as how to proceed forward too, and what to do.
Yeah.
Interesting. So okay, that's good to know, because that, instead of making me give up, is gonna just keep me focused and wait, or not wait, but just move into the next moment. That was amazing.
Like it's like a constant game of where's Waldo, and your soul is Waldo, and you're constantly fucking looking for it. Where's that? Where'd Waldo go? Where's my message from Waldo?
Yeah. I mean, the synchronicity overload is real. Like it's so much now that it's like, now I'm wondering how much am I missing? Because if I can see this one little space in time, and I love that synchronicity you shared, because that just makes me quite. In fact, you just helped me understand how to make sense of that, because I just now realize it's not outside looking in. We're projecting the synchronicity and giving meaning to it, which is just like, wow. So very grateful for that. Very, very grateful for that. My question for you, yes, I'm definitely going to play with that concept and see where it takes me. But
Limitless.
What is your trademark superpower? Because I feel like you have infinite amount of abilities, but like if there was like a enhanced ability you have that you could call on command and do, even though you showed us one of it doing this activation for us, what would you trademark and call it if it was like your own special personal power?
My specialty is just making people laugh.
That
it's bringing joy.
Yeah.
Quirkiness is just, a way I am, because I'm different. I'm gonna be with you like we're sitting on the back porch, smoking a bowl, drinking some Kool-Aid, or drinking some lemonade, or drinking some, I don't drink soda anymore, so can't be soda pop, but it can be Kool-Aid, because they got that organic, sugar-free shit.
No,
see, we're all transitioning, right? But I'm able to sit down and bring like real life and humor.
Nice.
I think I'm pretty funny.
Yeah, you definitely bring a lot of joy, and I'm very grateful for you. Once again, it's just very needed now in this day and age. And
yeah, I think like that's what I've been told the most, honestly, is like that I'm really easy. Like I'm relatable. I can relate to a lot of people, or I make people feel comforted. And again, that has a lot to do with Jupiter and Venus being in my, on my moon in my 7th house. It's that nurturing, and then the ability to just, and I say activate people, right? And it's like bringing a level of true understanding to somebody's perspective. That's an activation.
Yeah, that's a healthy way of seeing it. So nice. All right. And now we're on round 2. So it's your turn again to ask a question.
Man, I got all these crazy ideas going through my head right now. All right. If you were able to pick a movie to be an actor in, or an actress in, what would it be?
Oh my gosh.
What?
I'm so glad you're asking me this because I didn't realize I didn't realize how spirit this whole time was preparing me to answer this question and how answering this question will probably manifest this. First of all, if you haven't clicked the like button, please click that like button. Show some presence
Yes.
here.
Show some love or show some like.
Show some love and like, you know what it is. So, yeah, I accepted that even though I'm a first house son and next to the second house, I'm not like a lead role character. Like I've been kind of partially the lead role in a play before, as a kid, you know, South Node Leo, but I realized that I'm meant to be supporting role. Like the character I'd play in the movie is sidekick to a heroine who is meant to like go. Do you mean any existing movie or just like actual?
No limit. I'm open to whatever. I'm just open to whatever it is that you decide to allow yourself to say.
It's sidekick to a heroine who's meant to like realistically come into great universal order and balance, and it's a whole adventure. But in order for her to really embark on her journey, she needs to go on a side quest to, you know, discover the truth first. And that's where she comes to meet me. And it's like we have to work through our differences in order to, of course, complete this mission. And that had me confront ego issues about, wait, hold on, it's not about me. Like I have to, you know, support someone else. And I've now started to see how amazing that is, and how like it branches off into different universes and possibilities. So I would see myself as like a comic relief / supporting role character that is needed whenever the truth is meant to be expressed, and almost like a sword to move forward to. If I was like a living weapon, and one day I'll meet, my adventure starts when you know.
So essentially what that means is that's the support that you need right now.
Interesting. That is so real. Wow, that is so true. I didn't think of it.
You are reflecting the damsel and wanting to be supported.
Interesting.
Because what you want in your life, you never get what you want, you get what you are.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right. That's so true. Damn, you just got me speechless right now.
But it's still like, it's beautiful because in all respects, it's like you want so much love, and you want somebody that can like not only be your cheerleader, but be like a balance of strength and intuit, right? That is able to herald the truth that you're unable to reflect in yourself to see. So she's essentially a representation of the goddess Athena, or of your mother, or of your inner divine goddess, with the feminine within you, and the strength that she holds within her intuition. And so it's trusting in the message that's coming up through your kundalini, through your spine, and through your body. It's trusting that you're wanting to accept.
And accept, oh, you called me all the way out right now. And acceptance is definitely a huge facet of this. Not pushing it out, because I've had this one. Shout out to Spells Inc. Let's all manifest power couples in 2019. Agreed.
Yes. I was with you when we did that. We did that ceremony, right? Yes. And we called in a soulmate relationship. That was interesting this weekend, to say the least.
Oh,
this week.
Same here.
I mean, this energy is like, my sexual energy was like, woo! I was seriously having to, like, Jesus, Gina, chill the fuck out. Like, use it creatively. I had to do some deep breathings to rechannel it, to recircle it, like circulate. It was some intense shit this week. So, you know, so it would make sense that that's going to come up for you. Again, like, why that feeling of nurturing and support? Because you have all these great ideas, and to herald somebody in with it that would, you know, spotlight everything that you want to create and create a balance and harmony. That's what you're looking for, as a partnership. So in relation to that.
And it's cool because like I still, the way I envisioned it, it's like I still have my own, I'm still the star of my own movie, but it's
You
like,
are.
and I still have my own like mission to fulfill, but it all plays into a bigger whole. And but you're right, like it really does reflect that desire to support. So I'll take your advice again of looking in, about the who and the how and the where towards that.
Just think of Bruce Almighty. Just think of that moment in the movie. You know, it's like you just get a file and it's like, all right, where do I start? Alphabetical, like numeral, blah, blah, blah. Numerically? There you go. Alphanumerically.
Alphanumerically. She's going to be the hot Latina you were talking about. What's up? Oh, wait. Whoa.
Get the white legs.
It's
You need some sun.
Deja vu. So my second question for you is, and by the way, like Bruce Almighty is so key to me because Jim Carrey is my inverse. Like he's a Gemini moon with a Capricorn sun. So that really, really hits home. Especially with the whole notion that he didn't have to transform into the power. He just was given the power. So it's like he couldn't veil it. Like he had to, but I guess he knew what to do or how to be that. But other than that, what are your 3 favorite zodiac energies, and what 3 give you the most challenge? Hot seat question.
All right, let me switch my energy around a minute. Oh, the ones that give, I love Geminis, Aquarius. I like them. But okay, so my favorite energies are definitely going to be, they're Gemini, other Saggies, and I love well, it's like a love-hate relationship with Pisces.
Oh, I believe that. I feel you on that.
And it's just because, like, all I want to say is feel it. You might know it, but feel it.
Oh, wow.
Admit to it that you feel something. And they're like, but I do. No tears.
Pisces?
No tears. So, I mean, it's... Huh?
Pisces is saying that?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. That's a very...
Well, I don't feel like so with like with Pisces, I don't feel like they feel like, I know that they feel, but they don't put it out there that they do. They just come in with this, I have a higher perspective. I understand what I'm going through and I'll let it go from there. Like they don't want to embody the emotion. It's more like just like, okay, so I have to experience this to get on to the next phase.
No, it's so true. It's so true because like they're like the fog or the ether. So it's not like Cancer that's in the water. It's
right.
Like,
and so I got the Cancer ascendant. So I'm like, I'm looking at them like, you took the fucking easy road.
she's calling y'all out, Pisces. She's calling y'all out.
You know, and I'm like, but I'm feeling everything. The fuck? Man.
Wow.
You know?
That's true.
You know, so that's, I mean, I love Pisces. Don't get me wrong. My mom was a Pisces, so believe me, I'm gonna tune with Pisces. And my ex-husband is as well. Pisces ascendant and Pisces sun. So
okay.
I get that, but you know, Leos are probably I mean, they're fixed fire, they're fun to be with, but I kind of like burn out when I'm around a Leo too much.
It probably hits your Cap moon.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Leos are harder for me to be with because I'm like, I want to keep up with you for an hour.
Yeah, that's so true.
And then I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to watch you and I'm going to laugh because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
No, totally.
You know? Geminis, I can sit there and it's like, we could talk for hours. So I'm like, finally, a Sag, I'm like able to like, oh my God, and this and that and this and that. And you're like, yes. I feel it all coming through. And like, then you manipulate this into this wonderful fucking poetry because you got that undertone of Mercury in you, and you're like, I've got this. So this is how it sounds, right, coming out of me. And then Gemini likes to put it into a beautiful blog.
Blip. Yes.
Bloop. They just have this great way of like poising it. I like it. So
Nice.
and my earth sign's Gemini. So
Okay. Oh, okay. Wait.
your earth sign is Sagittarius.
Your earth sign?
Yeah, your earth sign.
Oh, your earth sign. It's opposite your sun sign. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
That's true. That's so true. That's
Kind
incredible.
of like one of those esoteric things like Vulcan.
Yeah.
Right? The hammer maker of Thor. The consciousness coming through like pounding that shit in. Wisdom, remember.
They say that might be the ruler of Virgo and not Mercury.
Yeah, it's Vulcan. That's esoteric astrology, yes. So
is Vulcan an actual planet or just a point?
It's a higher state of consciousness planet. You don't see it until you have higher states of consciousness. That's why it's a esoteric, which is an inner wisdom planet.
Oh, that's real. That's amazing.
I mean, all the planets are a manifestation of consciousness. So you would say that we gained Vulcan from higher timelines that we as a collective used to have a consciousness of prior to the Judeo-Christian religion, all of that being implemented, right? So we had like the Gnosis teaching, the Egyptian teachings, the Wisdom Templar, all of that information. So the earth itself is at a higher state of consciousness and vibration. So we were able to conceive of a planet that would carry, such mighty pack in a tiny planet, right?
Yeah.
That spends about the same cycle as Mercury does.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to look more into esoteric astrology and Vulcan too.
I can barely hear you.
I'm definitely going to look more into esoteric astrology and the Vulcan system.
Yeah, the rayology. I have rayology as well.
Nice. I think we're at the last round of questions.
Yeah, I'm questioning. All right. So this is one question that I asked myself. If there is that one moment that you could go back to prior to your conscious awakening, prior to your life, like as a spiritual on your spiritual path or your conscious path, what moment would that be and why?
That's such a good question. Oh God. Actually, if I'm gonna bring it, there was definitely a moment where I made a mistake I can't go back from, and I just wouldn't do it. It was a total impatience, ego issue, and I just kind of rushed into something I didn't know I was getting into, and I did it, and I can't take it back. Even though I feel like, given what happened after, it was one of those things that was meant to happen. And I kind of see it where it's like spirit knew that if I knew what it was going into, I wouldn't. So that's why I kind of deluded myself. But honestly, if I could go back to a moment, it would be the moment I lost my virginity, because I was thinking about the other day, I was like, I almost wish I was still a virgin. And I kind of saved it until I got married. But I don't really wish that, because I lost it to a Sagittarius in the movie theater. And I feel like that there's a magic that comes with that. And like, I'm glad at least that was our first time. But yeah, I would definitely probably go back to either that moment. Actually, no, because now when I think about it, that just seemed faded too. I don't think there was anything I could, other than like.
I mean, look at the arc and the structure of that. So you lost your purity within the movie.
Yeah.
So within coming into life, into this soul and this body, this avatar, into this movie, You lost your purity.
2007.
Regardless, 2000, that's a 9, so it's coming, it's fruition.
Yeah. And my life.
So, but look at that, like your what you projected towards yourself to recognize and reflect in.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Like, you were trying to tell yourself you're in a movie, and it's taken this pure love that you are, right?
And the movie was about this ancient forest of weeds that killed people. It's like
what? What movie theater were you at?
It was like the Alfred Hitchcock version.
Some French fucking flick.
I don't know. It was like these people exploring these ancient ruins, and like all the nature would try and kill them. And I mean, I didn't really pay attention to the movie because like it was doing that, but we were the only ones in the movie theater too, which I thought was interesting as well. Like I'm only now realizing how like magic that. So now I don't regret
magic.
I don't regret losing my virginity then. In that
not
sense.
at all, not at all. See, look at that. You transmuted that memory. Now there you go.
Thank you. I totally would just go back to actually that moment I spoke on was probably around the time I had come into my wake a little bit before, but I won't really mention details because it's not something I'm really proud of. But I just wouldn't have done it, and it really just kind of reminds me of my Mars and Aries habit of just like superficially trying to engage sexually with people, and yeah, I would just not have done that. And
I can see what's playing out in your mind. I'm not gonna like speak on it on here, but I can see what you're referring to, and I'm gonna tell you that we play things out to clear out something that had been passed along. You literally were playing out something that had played out in your mom's line to your mother. And then you were playing out, instead of the victim, you're playing out a perpetrator. So you were mirroring that situation. So it's nothing against who you are, but it's something that you as a soul chose to experience, to bring to an awareness, to clear that out.
So to speak on that more, there's something associated with that to my mind has blown. It made me realize this whole Truman Show thing is real, because like not in the way I think, but I had met this really shady dude who I didn't realize he was a Pisces. I didn't realize he was just like an overall like yeah. And no offense to Pisces, like
no offense to Pisces, not at all.
Yeah, my best friend is a Pisces, actually, double Pisces. But this was somebody who was just very manipulative. He tried to use his money to like flaunt stuff, and I kind of fell for the whole act. Like I was super naive. I actually got into a DUI case because we went to this party and he was driving. His friend drove us back. And instead of, they just left me in the car because I was drunk. I was in the passenger side of the car, drunk on the way back to the party. And so they had to drive my car back. And I wake up getting arrested in the driver's seat, which thankfully that whole case was dismissed because I wasn't really driving drunk. But in Texas, if your ignition is the car, come to find out, I think I was set up to where like the officer placed me in the car and tried to act like it, only because the police report was completely fabricated. But anyway, before all of that happened, there was a bartender whose name was also Michael. So we would go to the bar and he knew that dude, and we'd get like drinks like for free or whatever. And he would tip him like really extra. So I'm driving him home and he ends up saying the exact same story verbatim, it down to everything that was said. And it was just so like, what? I felt like I felt like I was pranked by the universe. And it's like, how can this synchronicity be so bang on? The way he said it too, it's like, it made me realize, okay, like this isn't secret. Like the whole world knows about this very embarrassing part of my life, even though the way he said it was like a joke. Like that kind of was healing too, because he didn't say it like he was ashamed of it. It's just like, yeah, that's something that happened to me. And I'm talking about exactly. I didn't mention it. Like when he said that, I didn't say, oh my God, I went through that exact thing too. And his name is also Michael, but it's just like, wow. And yeah, I'm not gonna speak anymore.
Yeah, but that's the universe reflecting, like that's you reflecting, right? In the in the in your version, your verse of reality.
Absolutely.
Right? And so that was just bringing in more confirmation for you and comfort, you know, because when we're going through an experience such as that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're more conflict of like, am I wrong? And it's not, you know, and so you're bringing in your subconscious or your soul is trying to bring in messages to let you know that it's not just you, you know,
Yeah,
and that
it was super mad. It felt like a scene out of a movie,
it
basically.
really is. Hey, can we go pause for a
Yeah,
second? I gotta go to the bathroom like super bad.
no problem. I can hold space while you do so.
All right.
It's totally fine. Word. Yeah, this is definitely one of our better peace talks. Shout out to those of y'all in the live chat. I totally wanted to make this a short hour, but I mean, this is too much fun. So we kept, moving forward. But shout out to those of you who joined a little late. Thank you guys for um, joining the party. Thank y'all for holding space. How did you guys enjoy the light code activation? Once again, like as soon as she made that first noise, and I started feeling the energy, Chad was all like, yo, I feel this. She ODK prepared. So any one of you who was present for this activation, that's not a coincidence. I think that's very symbolic. The moon's in Taurus. If you're watching this after it's live, you know what I mean? Same difference as well. And yeah, she is hella Sagittarius. You can see the glow. You can see the glow, which is very refreshing, very amazing. Really, really awesome. Shout out to Steve Libby in the live chat. We're going to do a peace talk very soon. Shout out to, of course, Phil. And I think we're back.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hold, never hold.
So my final question to you is, what and if you don't mind, I can actually tell you in detail what that experience was after we end this talk. But I definitely want to know, what is your approach towards spiritual warfare and dealing with psychic attack? What advice do you have concerning that?
Well, it's your mind, so it's mind fuckery. So
Yep.
my spiritual approach to that is honestly like death by sticky notes.
Interesting.
I have sticky notes all over my fridge, my mirrors, my walls, throughout my house, and they all are points of focus. So becoming more aware, and no matter what that takes, is to become more aware, and that it's complete mind games that get played on you. The spiritual warfare, the archons, they are entities. It is entities. It is energies. It's lower vibrational energies that, like, what it is a thought. It's just a consciousness. So think of it as a consciousness that is attached to your auric field behind you, or fluttering and around you. And so anytime that your thoughts are not of love, I know that it is a demonic force, or it's an archon or a lower vibrational energy that's attached to your auric field. And I try to hold love, like an image of love, or be like, you can't fuck with this, like you ain't got nothing, or I'll just I talk. It's a lot of self dialogue, and I pretty much look like the crazy person walking around like, Can't touch me now.
Nice. Super nice.
I was like, oh, you think you can fuck with me? Nope, I'm happy. Nope, I'm happy. Oh, you just sent me a person that's a little bit like yelling in my face? That's okay. I want to be in my face too. It's nice. Yeah. I got good breath.
Transmuting and not letting yourself get triggered, basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta like commit. Like I think it's the hardest thing to this spiritual path is like you get out of this like idea of what the world is, right? You come up to this awareness and like you go through all the stages of like truth seeking and like following your intuition and all that. And then you come to like the perch. It's like, all right, you're the baby bird about to get pushed out of the nest. You got to fly. And it's like, you got to commit. And that commitment, I think, is like, to me, that commitment is like waking up and trying every day. And I do that by a lot of sticky notes.
Trying or crying?
Both. Cancer.
Oh. I saw this.
I read my ISIS book and I'd be like, oh my God, I really have supported.
I saw this meme saying that Capricorn moon has the ambition and drive to never cry again. And I was like, oh, I feel that in my soul. Like,
I can just tap into that aspect of Capricorn. I'm like, I almost feel like, I don't know, I turned into a different person than like I used to be, just so gung-ho and get things done like right now. And it's just been like, get things done. Okay. More resistant than going into it. I think that has a lot to do with like the alignment, the alignments right now, you know, especially with freedom, you know, the Sagittarius personality and all that.
I think it's something only Gemini, Virgo, and Sag understands, and Pisces. But really, I think it's something only Gemini and Sag understands because we're the only ones who have this Neptune square that is affecting us. So it's like we're seeing into things people think we're crazy for, but they don't see it because they don't have the Neptune influence. So, and that's gonna kind of like dissolve the need to take action because it's like, well, there's no point. Like this whole pointlessness and meaninglessness that Neptune just dissolves, and it's like,
right. It literally, because that's what's going on. It's like you're all of these, you know, it's Neptune 0 degrees. It's still at 0 degrees of Capricorn. So it's like you are starting from this fundamental like scale. So it's like why you're not building on it because you're getting the whole dreamscape laid out, right? Yeah. Like you're creating your whole like. Just got a new Sims, right? You just uploaded a whole new Sims program and you just found this land or Minecraft or whatever the case may be, right? And so it's like you don't want to start building just yet because you're still scoping out all of the possible situations that you or houses or people or places or things that you could bring into your new land. That's how I feel like right now, because of Neptune being the ethers, being your astral, emotional, you know, manifestation of your realities. And so it's getting a rewrite. You know, we just had Pluto, like Pluto's still there as well. So it's this whole soul, you know, getting transformed, right? And this is your divine destiny. So you've got a lot of transformation within all the foundations. Like your soul is your foundation, right? Your body is a physical manifestation of that soul, right?
Yeah.
Soul is essentially the breath, but the breath is in the body.
True that.
Right. So it's like you're, you know, when you look at these planets, or when I look at the planets, you know, and in the what is it? The tree of life, the Saturn's at the feet, it's at the root with your earth sign. So, and you know, that's really, that plays a part in it too. Like they I don't think that the earth sign is utilized enough in astrology, and it damn well should be. We're on a star. This is our plane of existence, you know?
True.
You know, so there's a whole lot of restructuring coming from the root, you know, and whatever Gaia is going through, we're going through, because, you know, think of each one of us as the pores on her flesh. hair grows from the pore. So we're hair. We're, in the pore. We're breathing in that oxygen from her body.
Yeah, the soul breath is another thing I'm going to take with me to really, contextualize and understand. So, well, yeah, in conclusion, how can people reach you if they want to
Reach
get a,
me?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, they can.
I have your
Huh?
YouTube below, but how
Oh
can
yeah, Corky Cosmo on YouTube, Corky Cosmo. I have a Facebook page which has all my services on it,
nice.
which is like Ka, Corky Cosmo. I'm actually in middle of transition right now,
Okay.
and then you can also email me at corkycosmo@gmail, and we can schedule. I also do just 1 hour consultations, see where you're at in your life and how to help you the best that I can. I've got Pluto in my fourth house in Cancer again, so it's the soul looking into the souls. That's another thing that I'm really good at, is pulling in, from the soul's aspect and what your soul is aligning you to do, not necessarily what your personality is going through, where your soul is eventually trying to end up. So I have that talent as well. But yeah, you can find me at Corky Cosmo. And I have a website as well,
And
corkycosmo.com.
and do you have any final word of advice for people walking this spiritual path?
I do. I would say be open to all doors, but be wary before walking through them all.
Don't just jump through the door.
Right.
Nice. Okay.
Ask yourself, what is this going to do for me?
Beautiful. That
Yeah.
speaks a whole lot. When time shall stop soon enough, and the door to the soul will open. So, other than that, thank you guys so much for staying tuned in. Thank you so much for blessing us with your light and activation. I'm looking for. I think once the transmission is executed, we'll start to see very quickly the evidence. I mean, not that it needs to be proven, but more so the manifestation of this activation. So thank y'all once again. Stay tuned until another episode, and peace out, y'all. The show. Great.